This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, an admission he's out of his depth, but a local nightclub owner still applies for a liquor licence renewal. Fundraising for the children's ward, how supermarket staff are helping raise money for Dunedin Hospital. And it's a combination of frisbee and golf. Approval is given for Dunedin's first ever disc golf course. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Callum Proctor. A local bar owner admits he's out of his depth when it comes to running his business. Despite that, the owner of The Break has applied for a renewal of his on licence. But significant concerns are being raised in respect of it.
It's a well-known local night spot, but the future of The Break is looking dicey. That's because the police, the local licensing inspector and prominent health officials oppose the renewal of its on licence. And they're highlighting the inexperience of the business owner as a major factor.
It freely acknowledges its inexperience in matters alcohol. It says that in order to obtain its on licence, it will provide any and all undertakings that the committee may wish to impose.
Daigo D'Souza runs The Break, and he's applying to open the business from 8 a.m. to 4 a.m. each day. His legal counsel says a lack of experience doesn't mean a liquor licence shouldn't be granted, especially when the issue's acknowledged and work is underway to remedy the situation.
I have employed 2 senior staff who have managed certificate, Mr. Jared Ramsey and Simon Harley, and I want these men to run the bar while I gain experience side by side.
The lack of substantial food offered at the pub is also raising eyebrows among opposing parties, and they're concerned about certain incidents, including a drunken man being allowed on site. But D'Souza hopes to take his business in a different direction.
I want to start by changing the bar focus as being a late night student avenue for being more conventional time for the older people.
A decision over the on-licence application is being made behind closed doors, with an announcement expected soon. But for now, the business remains in limbo, its future in the hands of council committee members. David DeLorean, 39 Dunedin News.
The City Council's cutting its financial assistance for residential energy bills, despite strong demand. The Council receives about 10 applications a day from residents wanting help with electricity bills. Grants of up to $350 are available to residents on budgeting programs. In the last couple of years, the Council's cut its Consumers Electricity Fund by $50,000. That's despite a steady stream of requests for help, with 300 applications lodged so far this year. There's now $150,000 in the fund. It's managed by Anglican Family Care and administered by budget advisors from several social service agencies. Well, local supermarket staff are throwing their energy into a Dunedin Hospital fundraiser. The annual Countdown Kids Hospital appeal has been supporting child health care for almost a decade, and staff involved hope this year's effort is more lucrative than ever.
Hospital equipment doesn't come cheap, and in Dunedin that often prompts applications for funding. One regular source of financial assistance is the annual Countdown Kids Hospital appeal. The supermarket chain works with hospitals nationwide to assess demand for children's medical care before staff set about raising the required funds.
We support 11 hospitals throughout New Zealand, and what we do is we get together, we work out ideas to fundraise, and with the help of our customers in the store, we go to and try and get as much money as we possibly can.
Over the past 8 years, the appeal has raised nearly $1 million for the children's ward in Dunedin. That's part of the $8.3 million raised nationwide. And McNaught says it's all gone towards equipping hospitals and enhancing families' experiences.
The money mostly goes towards equipment and fun equipment. So, you know, we've done things as far as IVs, you know, with little monkeys on them, things that just make it better for the kids.
And it's that specialised equipment that's helped countless local children and families feel comfortable at the hospital, some of whom have become local appeal champions.
Our baby was born really, really early, and she spent 4.5 months in hospital, and it meant that we could be here in Dunedin with her. We didn't have to go away to other hospitals, other places away from our family. We could just stay here. We've got big kids as well, so they were settled, and it just helped on us so much to be here in Dunedin.
This year, Countdown hopes to top last year's final figure of $1.3 million. A chunk of which Dunedin Hospital will use to ensure children's medical needs are catered to. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Police are searching for a brazen car thief who stole a rental vehicle from outside a central city hotel in broad daylight. The Nissan Wing Road station wagon was taken from outside the Kingsgate Hotel in Smith Street between 9 and 10:30 yesterday morning. It's not known if the incident's linked to other recent vehicle thefts. Another incident under investigation is a smash and grab in Lovelock Avenue, where a set of jumper leads was stolen from a parked car. The culprit gained entry by smashing the front passenger window of the vehicle with a rock. Dunedin's first disc golf course is being installed at a local park with final approval from the City Council. The Chingford Park course in North East Valley has been a long time coming, and those behind it hope it sparks a surge in popularity for the obscure sport.
It's taken 18 months of hard work, but disc golf finally has a permanent home in the city. The DCC's given Disc Golf Dunedin the go-ahead to put a permanent 9-hole course in Chingford Park. And the support has members chomping at the bit to get going.
We got the signed licence back from the council, and we are so pleased that this is, we can move forward now. And we've got enough money, so we've done our fundraising. We've got our licence, so now we can think about the actual installation of the course.
Joint's determined to see the course open before the year is up. She says an immense amount of work's gone into making a proposal for the project, with months of planning and dozens of redesigns. But there's been positive support for the initiative, with last year's trial run well received.
So we ran a testing day, which was really successful. We had over 70 people come and play the course and throw frisbees. Lots of people came and did 2 rounds, which was really good.
The group also did a secondary test, which saw a temporary course installed for 6 weeks. Joint says that gave people the opportunity to try out the sport in their own time, and was a roaring success. Now the paving for disc golfers to stand on could be installed within a few weeks, followed by the baskets being made in Auckland. And Joint hopes it's the first of many more local courses.
We've got about 8-9 people in our kind of core committee group that are really keen to develop disc golf and develop another course where we've been scouting around for other places around the city that we could put an 18-hole course, possibly in the town belt.
The council licence for the Chingford Park course will be reviewed in 4 years. But for now, the focus is on course development and the rise of an obscure sport for residents to enjoy. David DeLorean, 39 Dunedin News.
Well, still to come on 39 Dunedin News, we find out the main issues discussed at the annual Yelloweyed Penguin Symposium here in Dunedin. And later we take a look at the Students' Association's annual Arts Week.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
Wake up time And another frantic day ahead for Yelloweyed's oat singles. With 3 delicious flavours in each pack, they don't last long with this family. They're so convenient and tasty, and they're ready in seconds. Yelloweyed's oat singles are the ideal breakfast or snack on the run for today's busy families. And there's a flavour to suit everyone. Beat the rush and make sure you get your favourite flavour. Yelloweyed's oat singles. Try new Kiwi Favourites Caramel Variety Pack.
Discover New Zealand's most innovative museum, Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. 14 stunning galleries, 3 distinct architectural styles, and 1 million intriguing stories are yours to discover at Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. Open daily next to Dunedin Railway Station and with free admission. Toitu Otago Settlers Museum.
For 30 years, Southern Clams have harvested New Zealand littleneck clams in the coastal waters of Otago. Hand harvesting to order at the right place and time ensures perfection of every clam you eat. New Zealand littleneck clams harvested for you by Southern Clams.
Hedges are something we almost take for granted. A good hedge needs regular maintenance to look its best and to add value and character to your property. For all your hedge care needs, call the team at SGC Services on 0800 783 453.
Big Orange for all your movies, records, books and games. Pre-loved needs and vinyl records, 45s, DVDs. A South Dunedin family-owned business for over 15 years. Check us out on Facebook, opposite Westpac on the sunny side of King Edward Street.
Tune into Girls Talk on Dunedin Television, where we show you what's hot in Dunedin.
Welcome back. A Princes Street motorcycle retail and repair business is being placed in liquidation owing significant debt. Special Purpose Vehicles Limited recently ceased trading, with privately owned motorcycles still awaiting repair. Liquidators have yet to determine how much money the business owes, but they say the amount is believed to be significant. Creditors include Inland Revenue, and there's also debt owing in relation to an Employment Relations Authority decision. The business is 11 years old and under the sole directorship of Company Bay resident Dennis Ireland. There are believed to be more than 60 creditors who have until Friday to stake their claims. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financial summary. And to the markets, the NZX 50 weakening today, finishing trading down 24 points. And to the exchange rates, once again, the Kiwi falling against the Australian dollar, but strengthening against the other major currencies that we follow here. Well, conservation workers and researchers have just gathered in Dunedin for the annual Yelloweyed Penguin Symposium. Bruce McKinlay from the Department of Conservation was involved, and he's here to tell us all about it. Good evening to you, Bruce.
Good evening, Callum. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you tonight.
What were the main issues discussed on Saturday?
On Saturday at the symposium, we had about 15 speakers that talked about a range of research, management concerns, reporting back on their year's activities. And the issues that they covered were things about improvement to habitat, issues with tourists and unfettered tourism, the impact of predators, the impact of disease, and just how the season between last season 2014 and 2015 went for yellow-eyed penguins on the Otago coast.
So I guess what most people want to know is how is the yellow-eyed penguin population? What's its current status?
So with one or two exception, numbers at the breeding sites that we monitor on the Otago coast are declining, and we think that there are a number of causes of this, whether chicks are picking up diseases that they haven't in the past, and also we had one or two events that we can't quite explain what's going on there.
So would you say things are improving or getting worse for the population?
I think things are getting worse at the moment for the population, mainly, Callum, because there's a couple of things going on with disease, for example, that we really can't get a handle on. There's been a large amount of effort, a lot of which was talked about at Saturday at the symposium, trying to drill into what's the cause of some of these diseases that yellow-eyed penguin chicks in particular are having to deal with and are killing a few of them.
So is disease the main threat then to the penguins' survival, or are there other factors?
Well, there are other factors. I mean, in the summer just gone, there were, for the first time, for a very long time, there were an awful lot of barracuda injuries to adult yellow-eyed penguins. And what seems to be happening is that the yellow-eyed penguins are being attacked by barracuda that nip them in the feet and then damage the tendons or the bone joints. And so we had quite a few penguins having to go north to Massey for quite intensive hospital care. And that's something we haven't done in the past, and it's also something that we're not quite sure why this change in behaviour or the level of interaction between yellow-eyed penguins and barracudas has occurred off the Otago Peninsula coast.
How can residents assist here?
Well, there's a lot of work going on. Yellow-eyed penguins, I think, are unique in New Zealand. There's a large amount of community-based management and protection going on. The organisations such as the Yelloweyed Penguin Trust are providing a lot of habitat and working with managers and being reserve managers throughout the range to actually improve the situation for yellow-eyed penguins. Other organisations, be it commercial operations like Penguin Place or volunteer groups such as Penguin Rescue up at Kātiki Point, are all doing their bit to actually manage their sites to improve the situation for yellow-eyed penguins on the land.
So, Bruce, what's DOC's priority then in the next year, looking towards the next season for the yellow-eyed penguin?
So we really want to get a good handle on what's going on with the disease. These disease issues, can we drill into the actual basic cause of some of these disease? And then we also really want to start engaging with marine scientists in the marine sphere to actually understand or build a research program that can actually start to tease apart some of the complicated things that are going on at sea.
All right, Bruce McKinley from the Department of Conservation, thanks for your time this evening.
Thank you, Callum.
Okay, after the break on 39 Dunedin News, hundreds take part in George Street Normal School's annual Cross Country Day, and we look at weather around the region, including a warning of another polar blast on its way.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
It works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special, 0800 502 402.
Big Orange, for all your movies, records, books and games. Pre-loved needs and vinyl records, 45s, DVDs. A South Dunedin family-owned business for over 15 years. Check us out on Facebook, opposite Westpac on the sunny side of King Edward Street.
Moving around the corner, overseas, Best Removals Otago Limited, specialists in household removals and business relocations, as well as packing materials, secure storage. Best Removals can do it all. 0800 266 834.
every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
The city's top club rugby players have been recognised, with Southern loose forward Adam Knight taking the top honour. The 23-year-old builder is Dunedin's Club Rugby Player of the Year. His title comes just days after his selection into the Otago ITM Cup squad. Other award winners include Tyree's Josh Casey, who scored the most points this season and set a new record of 300. Several players were given special awards for notching up 100 senior games for their clubs. And the Personality of the Year award went to the University A coach, Rahul Das. More than 300 pieces of artwork from the city's young creatives are on public display. The tertiary work is being exhibited as part of the Otago University Students Association's annual Art Week. And it's putting the names of artistically inclined scarfies out in the community.
Art of all shapes and sizes is springing up around the University of Otago for the annual OUSA Art Week. And this time around, a record number of artists are taking part.
It's definitely grown in size. Considering last year we had 51 entries, this year we've got 92 artists, so it's a huge growth there, which is great. We absolutely loved it. And so we're hoping to support these artists, so we need as many people to come down and check out the art and also vote for the favourite and hopefully purchase some art.
Most of the work on display is for sale, with all the money going directly to the students. And Anderson says that is a major draw card for people to get involved, even those who aren't undertaking artistic studies.
There's quite a few different subjects that they might be studying, like from medicine or psychology is completely different to art subjects, so it's great to support that their hobbies are continuing on after high school. So being able to support that is just a great feeling, as well as the students hoping they'll get something out of it too.
The work on display ranges from painting to fragile sculptures, including a particularly intricate dragon head made from bone. And artist Tori Clearwater says it's a thrill to have so many people not only see her work, but appreciate it.
It's really exciting to I've actually sold some work, so that's really, really cool. Being an art student and studying, I've never actually had this chance to kind of have a full exhibition before. So I guess it's just, getting myself out there it's very, very cool.
The exhibition's open to anyone wanting to check out the art within the university campus. And Anderson says giving people the chance to see what some students are capable of artistically helps ensure the city's art scene thrives.
I am truly blown away with the talent we've got in Dunedin. It's great to see that we can support these students and keep the art flowing in Dunedin, hoping that more artists will stay in Dunedin and continue on into the artist world.
All the pieces within the main exhibition are being judged for awards including the much coveted People's Choice. But for the artists, having their work on display is a prize in itself. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Hundreds of primary school children have gathered at the Alhambra grounds for an annual cross-country race. The George Street Normal School event comprised about 400 runners in a dozen different categories. It's one of the city's largest school cross-country events held throughout the year. Dozens of parents and supporters attended, cheering from the sidelines. The cross-country aims to foster sports participation and physical activity among pupils. It saw young runners test their limits over 2 hours of competition. Many pupils have been upping their exercise over the last few weeks in preparation for the big event. All right, now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. Serious concerns are being raised about the Break nightclub as the owner applies to renew his liquor on licence despite his inexperience. Supermarket staff are collecting money for new equipment at Dunedin Hospital's children's ward to benefit patients and their families. And the city's first disc golf course is being installed at Chingford Park with final council approval to develop the obscure sport. And now let's look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We welcome in Bruce Query. Evening, Bruce.
Good evening, Callum. A surge of flu-like illness has swept through South Dunedin schools in the past week. Hundreds of pupils have been absent from schools, and health clinics are overrun with patients. And one health clinic suspects that the after effects of the June floods could be a factor, though that's not proven. Hundreds of DCC staff, Dunedin City Council staff, have received fraud detection training as the council beefs up its defences to avoid any repeat of the city fleet scandal. Also, geology researchers are studying the ground below South Dunedin to shed more light on earthquake risks. And in our fashion section, Fresh, we're saying that our florals will be back in spring, which is only 4 weeks away. And there's plenty of pictures to go with that.
All right, tomorrow's ODT. Thanks, Bruce. Time now for a look at local weather.
This local weather report proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn Sportsville.
And starting with today's city view, looking over the top of St Paul's Cathedral. Temperatures at 3 o'clock today, 7 degrees right across the board, Central City and the Gardens and Tyree. Situation map tomorrow, another cold front moves over the South Island. A very cold polar air blast is expected to arrive Friday and into the weekend. Forecast around the main towns in the lower South Island for tomorrow. Invercargill a freshening nor'wester 13, nor'wester for Gore as well, some cloud and 13. Te Anau a high of 12 and Alexandra high cloud and 14. Queenstown the nor'wester freshens with high cloud and 13. Same for Oamaru. Wanaka some high cloud and 14. Twizel, moderate nor'wester, high cloud and 14. Here in Dunedin tonight, showers will clear with a low of 3. Tomorrow, it's looking pretty good, fine with morning frosts, nor'easterlies developing a high of 12, the low 5. And Thursday, late showers with northerlies, high 12 and a low 4. Finally, to the Southern Clams tidal and fishing information. And high tide tomorrow morning, around about 7:30, followed by low tide 20 past 2 in the afternoon. And fishing rated bad tomorrow, but the best time around about 10 to 5 late tomorrow afternoon. And that's our local news for this Tuesday. On behalf of the 39 Dunedin News team, have a very good evening.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.